Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. We have so much to catch up on today, but first, let's welcome our guest co-host for today, Tiara Walton. Woo! Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Hey, welcome. Coming up, it's back to school week, yeah. But did you know students can now be suspended for simply being homeless? What? Plus the latest on Wendy Williams. Could she finally be released from her conservatorship? Stay tuned to find out. And later, we'll be back with Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul. So come on in and join the discussion. You're watching Point of View. All right. It's back to school week. And in Texas, a law that once protected homeless students from being suspended just got overturned. Now, even the most vulnerable kids, including those without a stable home, can be suspended for so-called disruptive behavior. Some districts are already facing backlash breaking the old law, and now the rules have changed. So here's the question. Are we really protecting these students or setting them up for failure?
I think more than setting them up for failure, we're also weaponizing homelessness. Well, Texas is. These kids are displaced.
Yeah.
And, I guess, just imagining that some of these children are going to school because that may be their only meal for the day.
That's right. Wow.
They didn't ask to be here.
Exactly. And now with the new stipulations of them being able to be suspended just for being disruptive, which that is so subjective.
It's so broad.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
Right.
realistically, if a child is homeless, there's a possibility that they may not have clean clothes. They may not have been
getting
able
any
to
sleep.
shower.
Or they're having trauma.
Right.
PTSD.
I think
Right.
the statement of disruptive behavior poses a problem because whose behavior are we talking about?
Right.
The adults who are noticing?
Right.
The children
That's
who
what
are
the issue
bullying?
is.
Exactly.
You know, and talk about suffering the sins of your parents. Like, I didn't ask to be in this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I am a child and I am entitled to an education to get me out of this situation in the future.
Right.
So you're punishing poverty.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, before they had it based on weapons, bringing weapons to school or drugs to school, in that frame, if that was the case. But now saying disruptive behavior, it's just so broad.
Right.
It depends on who deems this as disruptive behavior.
Right.
So it's talking disruptive. They just talked a little too
It's
much.
sleeping
Yeah.
in class disruptive.
What is
Is coming
disruptive?
to school and maybe not having the best odor now going to be considered disruptive?
Coming to school late
Right.
Yeah.
because
And-
of lack of transportation.
And we just saw last year, remember when they were changing the laws that you could get arrested for being homeless in some states. And so now I feel like
God.
this is like almost like a lesser offense or, what they're doing to the children because you can't arrest them. That would be
Right.
just too blatant, too bold.
Where they're doing in-school suspension, which can be 10 days. Like in 10 days, they can come back and reevaluate, is this working out?
But it's not in-school suspension.
It's both. They want both. So they want the opportunity to have like unlimited in-school suspension, I think it was.
What?
And then they want to have, but that will be reevaluated in 10 days.
If you're going to have
Right.
in-school suspension,
Girl.
they need to build a shower for these children to come. They need to have
Right.
an extra snack room. They need to make sure that their lost and found is fully stocked and that they're getting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think
where are the resources?
exactly. That's exactly what I was
Right.
getting ready to talk about is the resources to be able to implement some kind of help.
Yeah.
You know, we all hear the stories of, it was my third grade teacher that changed my life.
Yeah.
It was my, and this is an opportunity for their lives to be changed.
Yeah.
And it may not be for the better if the language is, your situation is disruptive.
Do you think that school administrators and teachers need to learn how to deal with homeless children differently than other students? Or, I mean, do you think it's just the same across the board? I mean,
I'm
kids
just
are kids.
wondering how their home situation became the
target. Yeah.
or the topic of discussion, or how it became relevant to whether or not they are entitled to an education.
Yeah.
I don't see the correlation.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is I can understand, again, like you said, an older or different aspects of their situation may show up, but if we are implementing resources, then as you see something show up, then you have a
There's a
resource.
solution.
There's a solution.
Yeah.
I think they have to be more solution-based and
Instead
not
of punishment,
punishment-based.
Yes.
Do you think they're equipped, like the schools, the administrators, are they equipped to handle, this disruptive behavior?
Do
It's
they
just so
care
subjective,
if
though.
they're
That's
calling
the
it
problem.
disruptive
Yeah.
behavior to begin with?
Yeah.
It's
And then
not the child's choice to be homeless, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's enough care there to provide certain resources.
And they feel like it's going to single out, of course, black kids, brown kids, people of different.
There are white people who are homeless too.
Yeah, but that's who they think it's really going
That's
to
probably
affect.
what
So
it's really
that's the
targeted
demographic.
against.
Yeah.
They're just probably finding a way to criminalize them at a younger age.
Yeah.
And that's what they say.
Exactly.
That is now it's
Yeah.
going to clear an even wider path, I imagine, on their way to,
Well,
prison
sad.
properly.
No, there we go. Okay, let's talk about the reality of things is that private prisons
Privatizing.
are created
That's right.
to have income. Like you get
Sure.
paid for every head that is in
the
a
facility.
prison cell.
Yeah.
For every head that's in a bed in a prison cell, you
get
get
paid for
paid. And America was built on
That kind of system.
System.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they even say that they can determine when a kid is in third grade, they can already determine from certain neighborhoods, how many beds they should start preparing for them later on.
Yeah, of course they can determine that because they know how they're going to target them. They know what drugs and weapons they're going to put. They know what they're going to have the music say that by the time
And
they
laws.
Now we know.
Come on now.
Yes.
and laws. So
Yes.
if this is, we got to look at this as like, this is a law
That's
that
right.
has been implemented.
That's right.
This means that the educational value has dropped so low that we are going to make a law
That's right.
to remove a child who is deserving of an education from an opportunity. They're removing the child from the opportunity. They're not removing
Because
the
of
child from the
circumstances.
situation.
No.
Yeah.
They're not removing
an
the child
opportunity.
from the experience.
Because it's never been
They're
about
removing them from-
rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty much like they're saying, bro, go over here. We're going to give you a grant. You build a $10,000 bed, 10,000 bed jail, and we promise you that you'll have $10,000.
Oh yeah, because they're
yeah.
already leading them in the way they should go.
Disgusting.
That's really sad. Moving on to our next topic. The results are in. Maybe y'all have heard already. After 3 long years, countless tests, and public speculation, Wendy Williams will remain under guardianship. A recent medical exam has re-diagnosed her with dementia, confirming she's still battling 2 serious health conditions. Does this news surprise you at all?
No.
It seems not to surprise too many people, no.
I think it's sad.
I
What's
think they
that?
keep putting her in a position to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think she had got well there for a second and she was in her right mind and she was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, I don't know, something happened. I don't know. I'm not there with her. So.
I think Wendy needs an exorcism, if you ask me.
Oh, girl. Please.
Or you,
I-
and
you
this
know
is
what I
just
find
Pure
funny?
speculation.
You know what I do find
Speculation.
funny though? I find funny that all of these years, her voice had so much value.
okay.
And now her voice cannot even advocate for herself.
They deemed her crazy.
Like for years, people were listening to what Wendy had to say.
Yeah.
And now they don't even care what she has to say about herself.
She just need
Do you
deliverance.
think? Do you think she's being silenced though? Like
Yes.
okay, so you think they're actually
Yes.
targeting her?
Yeah.
Are you
Conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I am, sister.
I'm a
I
conspiracy
am, sister.
theorist as well, but at the end of the day, what I do feel like is because Wendy has publicly, spent so many years tearing down other people and using her voice maybe for not the right cause. Now in the time where she would want the voice to be able to advocate for herself, she is consumed by these demons and spirits from alcoholism that we know, which was called in prohibition times and even still to this day spirits. Now she got dementia, which the root word of that is demon. Y'all do the math.
I'm not gonna put that on my girl.
All
Wendy.
right, baby.
Well,
She need a priest, baby.
so I'll side with Natalia because everything is spiritual.
All right,
We
now.
are spiritual beings having an earthly experience, and I think that what she put out,
She's
she
getting
did
back.
not expect
Uh-oh.
to get back
Wow.
at the level
So
that
you
she's
guys are
received.
So
saying
you
that
think
this
this
is
is
her
the
karma.
reaping
So
what you sow?
so I'm not saying karma because karma is not a biblical principle, and I
Reaping
stand
what
on
you
the
sow.
Bible. But I do believe that she planted seeds of confusion, and now to be said that you are suffering from dementia, which causes confusion in your mind.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that it can be looked at as what you sow, you reap, and her harvest is plenty.
My God.
And they're also saying like, we
the
think
point
the
of view.
governorship is supposed to protect her. Do you think it's really protecting her, or is this just taking control
There's
of her?
no protection but one protection. I am not a priest. We do have a wonderful ordained minister evangelist right here to the left of me. But and I'm not saying she's up for the task. We don't know when.
No.
Wendy,
You think she-
hey,
no,
Wendy
no,
first got to be willing. We don't
Say
want
she
to come
need
to
help,
help.
but nobody wants to help her. I don't understand.
On now. Hey,
You're not gonna do this exorcism because it's the spirits and all.
hey, listen, we hey.
Oh
I don't
my
understand.
goodness.
She need help, but don't nobody
Hey,
want to help
I'm
her.
telling you, if she better pick the right side with some life left in her body, so maybe God can bring them riches back, baby. Because if she stay this way, baby, the canker worm and everything else
We
will
have-
eat it up.
we
We have sun in them boats.
We have to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. More with Tiara Walton is coming up as we break down the power of confidence in Girlfriend's Guide. Stay right here. You're watching POV.
Hey, y'all, shout out to our viewers that are sticking with us on this quick commercial break on social media. We had a question for you guys at home as well as one for us at the table. Junie is throwing me out here with this one, y'all. She needs this advice, so let's give it to her. Let's give it to her. good.
Wow. Wow. It's a
Oh my
question that I thought of to ask.
You put her
She
out
don't
there
need it.
front street.
She don't need it. I'm playing. But we all want to know, in new friendships, how do you navigate when conflict arises?
Well,
Tell
I think
Junie,
first you
y'all.
need to make sure it's actual friendship.
Exactly, and make sure it's not a trauma bond.
That's right.
And make sure that you see the value in actually going through the journey of conflict resolution. If there is no value in conflict resolution, then count your losses.
But what if it is on your end, though? Like, how do you really...
Then you're operating from a space of being unequally yoked, and you need to get up out of there anyway. If it's valuable on your end, but it's not valuable or being reciprocated as valuable on their end, why are you putting yourself in a position to not receive what you're giving?
But wait, so were you asking? were you asking on your end if it was valued, or if you were the one that has causing this, the
It's
conflict?
not on my end. I was
Okay,
just
on the person.
asking
Okay,
a-
okay.
I was
Well, you
just
said on
asking
your
a
end you made it
question.
personal. I was trying to figure out.
No, I was just asking the question, period, but we don't have enough time. Go ahead, Raquel and
man.
Tally, bring us back to the show.
Listen, y'all don't go nowhere. I wish we had more time for this one, but stay tuned when you're watching POV. We'll be right back to the show.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. So, confidence doesn't always come naturally for women. Some are born with it, while others have to learn to love themselves. Today, we're talking about why it's so important for us to show up authentically for ourselves, because if we're not showing up for ourselves, who will? So recently, we asked the question, if you had believed in yourself a little more back then, where do you think you'd be now?
I think I want to jump in by saying, and maybe this thought is incomplete, but I don't know if I subscribe to some people are born with confidence. I think that maybe even as a child, very young, maybe they're loved, maybe they're safe, maybe they're affirmed, and that allows them to show up in the world even as a young child, as a confident child.
Yes.
Because I know kids, I've raised a lot of kids, not just my own kids, and I see the difference of the ones that have been affirmed and have been properly loved and the way that they show up truly confident in the world
Yes.
versus the ones that, maybe haven't had that and they're kind of like, in a
shy.
cowardly state a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. I definitely do believe that confidence has to be cultivated.
Sure.
But I do believe that there are some people that are born with it.
A little extra, a little
whatever
extra.
it is that that brings the light into the room, or that makes they themselves operate differently. I think that some people are born with it, and I don't know that we can call that confidence. Maybe it's just like an it factor, but I do believe that if I had operated in true, authentic confidence, and that confidence that was given to me based on circumstances or situations or lifestyles that I lived, I believe that I would be able to see the value in others without having to dig so deep into what they had to go through. Like, I find myself always wanting to know, so what did you have to go through, like, to get, like, what's your story? What's your testimony?
Yeah.
And if I would have hung on to, like, the confidence of who I'm called to be, I wouldn't need to lean so much in what they've been through. It's almost like I'm going into it looking for a trauma bond.
Okay.
So I would have more confidence in building friendships instead of looking for someone to fix.
Well, some people grow up with a lot of confidence, but then something happens.
It was the opposite for me.
Okay.
Like, I was in sports growing up. I was a tomboy. And then, like, when I got into modeling, like, my confidence just, like, I found where I was supposed to be.
Okay.
I cut all my hair off. Like, I had a brand new look. I felt like I moved to a new city. I felt like a whole new person with a brand new life, like a fresh start.
Yeah.
And I feel like my confidence came in my later teenage years.
Okay.
Like, I didn't care about, like, nails, makeup, like, getting my hair done all the time, baby. I was bunning it for basketball games. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I really didn't care. But when I got into modeling, like, I think, like, my confidence came from just feeling accepted, like, and wanted in some spaces.
And seen.
Like, like, I had such a unique look. Like, most runway models back then, like, just had, black runway models just had, like, straight black hair. They had a big afro, But me coming in with short blonde hair was kind of just like, wow, like, this is new. Like, I like her. She looks very, like, different. Like, I want her. being wanted and needed and, like seen, like you said, like made me gain a different level of confidence and see myself in a totally different
Yeah.
light. And then my confidence just
Yeah.
out the roof.
That's good. That's good.
I ain't let it go since.
Well, you start just deciding that you'll give yourself that validation.
Yeah.
Outside sources do not need to validate you for you to feel confident in
It
yourself.
did help.
It helped.
It helped
was not
having that
necessary.
reassurance from other people,
Yeah.
though, like in the industry
Yeah.
that I was in.
Yeah.
Still in.
Tally, you wanted to say.
I think sometimes I get caught up in, words and maybe like definitions or I think also too because it's so subjective and, even with the dictionary, no one reads the dictionary anymore, unfortunately. So people, I think, tend to, and I'm tired of saying I think, but people tend to make up what they think a word means. And so when I think about confidence, I think that people easily misconstrue it, and sometimes they don't realize when they think that they're being confident that there's a very fine line between confidence and pride and arrogance. And I feel like a lot of people are very prideful and a lot of people are very arrogant and they think that this is confidence. But confidence to me, now I'm making up my own definition.
Let's hear it, sister.
Confidence to me, it's supposed to feel like a good, pure thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that a lot of people think that, oh, you're just so confident, if it's not good and if it's not pure and if it doesn't, if it harms other people, that's not confidence. That's pride and
Absolutely not.
arrogance.
That's arrogance.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, arrogance shows that there's some kind of insecurity there.
Yeah.
People will have living in LA, people have all this money, they have all this lavishness, they have a luxurious lifestyle, but then they're very arrogant. And what's really there? What's going on? But then you find out things like what's happening in the music industry. You
Yeah.
find out what's happening in the modeling industry. You find
Yeah.
out what's happening behind closed doors. Even, at a law firm or something, you find out that all this arrogance really came down to
But
something's
I think like
going
what
on.
Tally said, like pride and arrogance and confidence, like there are very thin lines in between all of them. I do believe that. But I also believe that you should be a little prideful, about who you are and like where you come from. If you've come from something that wasn't so, great, and then you built yourself up to be something better.
Be proud or have pride.
I mean, proud.
Okay.
Okay,
Because the
proud,
Bible says
pride.
that God detests the proud. So it's in the thin line, I think.
Maybe I need definitions because
Okay.
proud, pride.
And it comes before the fall.
Because pride is dangerous because we begin to think that it's something that we're doing or that we've done that got us to this place. And so the beautiful thing about cultivating confidence is that, or the beautiful thing about giving of yourself, like, so in ministry, I operate in full-time ministry.
Yes.
I don't give any of myself. I decrease so that he can increase. So I can't walk away from that saying, I gave them the confidence to do this or be prideful in it because it took a
Or even be
breaking.
proud of what you did because
Yeah,
it wasn't
'cause
you.
I didn't do anything.
Right.
Right. But what you did when you were on that runway, what you did when you were walking into those rooms, you exuded a confidence that you should be proud of, but not take pride in regards to not feel like it was all of you. It was still the will of God for you to be there. I know.
Tell-
I heard you.
I know.
I heard you. We just don't have enough time, sister.
and this is the example,
Girl, I'll
Tiara.
run it down for you.
Tiara, this is the example what you're doing in the community to build up women's confidence.
Yes,
to help
so-
them.
So I am super excited about being able to participate in events like the Limitless event that we're having on this Saturday, right? My participation in it is literally a testament to the confidence that someone can give you through their obedience. A young lady, her name is Sierra, she messaged me 11 years ago after seeing me in the Rihanna Needed Me video and gave me this whole long rundown about when God starts to use me. Mind you, I was naked in the Rihanna video. So I don't know how she saw when God was gonna use me.
but she saw it.
But she saw it.
Yeah.
And so now we're getting ready to have this full circle moment that cannot, I can't express what it's gonna feel like to be doing a war room activation with someone who went to war for me
My God.
before I could see myself.
Wow, that's
Before, like, the people who see
Yeah.
me now, before that, there was somebody who listened to someone in the spirit, the Lord, listened to the Lord and did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that word became a prayer, and that prayer became a prophetic word, and that prophetic word became my life.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I gotta give this to somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
I gotta be
have
able
to share it.
I have to share this.
Yeah.
So I give it to people through receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
If I could tell anybody anything, whether you're confident, whether you lack confidence, whether you're in a space where you're trying to be more confident, is be prepared to receive. Be open to receiving. Oftentimes we want more and more and more of something, but we're not open to receiving it when it comes. You want answers, but when you begin to get the answers,
Yeah, now you're like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I want that. It didn't come the way I thought it would. So not sure I want that
And we
answer.
were having a conversation earlier today, and I feel like one other thing that could be very pivotal in that is also be ready to receive, but be in position. Because you
Yes.
can be ready to receive all day, baby, but if you ain't where the ball finna hit at, it don't matter. You ain't catching none.
yeah.
Well,
So-
one thing I know that helped me is to rely on God's validation of who I am. Not what other people are telling me, but what he says.
And not even what you
look
tell
at
yourself.
him and not what I tell myself, but look at myself the way he sees me. I'm the apple of his eye. I'm his favorite. You know, I'm the royal priesthood. And when I started looking at myself that way and looking at my gifts and talents, it started to make me feel more confident about that because
Yeah.
now it's not coming from me, it's coming from him. It's not coming from outside, it's coming from him, and I can feel a lot better by depending on that. That's a wrap for today's episode. But before we go, to fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. Robert Morley. And on that note, thank you for joining us on Point of View. Stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you the next time.